Thanks for choosing this free Anfield Index podcast. If you'd prefer to listen to this or any of our other shows without adverts, then now's the time to check out Anfield Index Pro. With AI Pro, you can supercharge your entire listening experience. You'll not only get all of our podcasts without the ads, but you'll have them far faster with our quick publish feature available exclusively for subscribers. AI Pro also puts you in the heart of our sound studio, with an option to listen to many of our shows live and interact with the podcasters in real time as the shows are recording. Upgrading couldn't be easier. AI Pro is available on all popular podcast platforms, and we have our own apps for Apple and Android. Just head on over to AnfieldIndexPro.com and get started today.
Hello and welcome to Preseason Raw. It's me, Guy, back again for the show. Liverpool are getting back in the swing of things nicely, people. It's just me at the minute, but I'm going to talk about our 5-0 victory over RB Leipzig. That second half was funny, but I am waiting for Stephen, who is putting his kid to sleep at the minute, who apparently has hiccups and he let watch the game, so I'm blaming Stephen there. But I will get into it. I'll get the boring stuff out the way in the starting 11. Adrian in goal, because we have no other goalkeepers at the minute. Trent at right back, Konate, Van Dijk, Robbo. Probably the starting first choice backline, you'd think. Matip or Konate is always going to be a discussion, but Ibu, I think he's played 2 of the games with Van Dijk in pre-season at the min. Probably them 2 for me anyway. Midfield 3 of Fabinho, Thiago, Keita. Again, they've played together pretty much exclusively in pre-season. So for Fulham or the Charity Shield, whichever one was seen as the start of the season, doing air quotes there, because the Charity Shield can be seen as just a friendly. Maybe that's the starting midfield. Obviously, Henderson, as I say, Elliott's looked really good in pre-season, so's Carvalho, to be fair. Henderson played really well in the second half as well, to be fair, today. Then a front 3 of Diaz, Firmino and Salah. And before the game, keyword there is before, I thought that would be our locked-in start of the season front 3, because, Jota's injured, Núñez hadn't played too well. That soon changed. And Bobby, he's fit. Klopp's been bigging him up in training. Mo's Mo, he's always going to play. And Diaz, who was so exciting the second half of the season. But as we get to the second half, we can get to discuss that a wee bit more about Darwin. Stephen's just texted me that he's loading up now, so hopefully by the time I get on to the first goal, he'll be with us. But I mean, the start of the game. Actually, I'll go through the RB team, because we do know some of the players, albeit Tedesco, the manager, seems like one of them Nagelsmann, Pep weirdos who just plays people in random positions. So, yeah.
Hello.
There he is. Hello, Stephen.
Sorry, small person. Mum's had to take over.
No problem. Well, I hope you know you had some illness in the family.
Yeah, all 4 of us have got COVID. It's fucking brilliant fun.
Oh, beautiful. And you live in Narnia, which we discovered yesterday as well.
Yes.
Yes, which is very fun. But I'll finish the RB team and I'll come to you for our team. Galaxy in goal, Liverpool legend. Simican, Orban, Halstenberg, Heinrich, Sosbalai, Campbell, Angelino, Soloff, Olmo, and Nkunku. Stephen, our first choice 11 there. I don't think that's too far off our starting 11 for the first game of the season.
No, I mean, apart from the goalkeeper, it's pretty close. I think maybe Núñez, however we're supposed to pronounce it, is going to expect to be starting over Bobby, but I was pretty excited with that, especially the NFT midfield being back. Yeah,
I think they've exclusively started together in pre-season as well, if I remember correctly. So, they seem to be put together at the min. Anyone from RB tickle your fancy before the game? Because we do obviously see them as somewhere to shop from.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have mentioned players like Conrad Lima, but I quite like Danny Olmo. He's a tidy little player. He was really highly rated when he signed for them. And today I thought he was, it was quite excited to see what he would do and see how he played. He's not a particularly exciting player, but he's just got a very nice, tidy, neat way of playing the midfield, and I like players like that. I think we've obviously got one of the best in Thiago, and we've got Elliot, who's proving to be very smart in that way of playing. So yeah, he was the one I was looking forward to watching today.
Yeah, I've seen a bit of him in the Spanish national team. Yeah, he seems like a fun player. And Kunku Dell's back in the chat finally. I need Dell. I need Dell for my Discord. And Kunku, yeah, he's the eye-catching one. I think he got 30-odd goals in the Bundesliga. It might have been all comps last season, but he was linked with many moves this summer, but stuck around there. Yeah, but hey-ho, we will move on. Stephen, we pretty much start the game pretty well, and by the 7th minute, we score.
Yeah, it was a really good start. I thought Thiago and Bobby were both particularly bright. There was some really good sort of movement forward. There was just before the goal, I quite liked how Bobby picked the ball up. It was probably around the centre circle, and he's driving forward. And rather than losing it or panicking like he kind of was last season, he saw that RB got back far too quickly and played a nice little sensible ball to Keita. We kept possession, and we kind of built the pressure from there, which finally led to Mo's goal. So it was a really positive start. It wasn't the fastest paced game, but it was, for a pre-season game, I felt like the players had at least got into second gear, right? So I thought it was a good start to the game, and a bit of a tap in for Mo, even though I don't know, should the keeper have got it? He didn't seem to have to hit it particularly hard. But again, as I said before about Bobby just played the right pass through to him for the goal. I think it was a 1-2 with him, wasn't he? Just the perfect way into straight in front of him. Mo has to do nothing but steer the ball into the back of the net. So everyone knows that Firmino is my favourite player. So seeing him play well and doing what we love about him today for the first few minutes was definitely a great start to the match.
Yeah, I think it was almost too easy a finish. I think the goalkeeper's kind of just lost at sea there because there's too much of the goal for him to cover. But yeah, it's easy for more. Well worked by Bobby. Their defence looking a tad drunk. I'm not sure when they started pre-season. I think the Bundesliga starts a bit after us, so they might be a couple weeks behind us or something. But yeah, what is next up in my notes? Messi defending. Van Dijk looked a bit drunk. Yeah, it's pre-season. Who cares? Then Van Dijk decides to go, I will play quarterback and do a lovely pass to Mo, and then Mo isn't right-footed. Trent did a dirty pass. And then there's a little break and Solof's down injured. But it certainly seemed like we're taking steps in this pre-season, Steve. I mean, the Man United game was horrid because, well, I think we were 10 days behind them in pre-season. Palace was an odd game because it was Singapore, it was Singapore, and it was sweaty and horrible. And Palace had a mix of toddlers and half a team, and we were obviously still up to speed. But this one looked like we're ready for the season. And I think this first half, without being explosive in front of goal, we just kind of went, well, this is how we play.
Yeah, it was a bit scruffy though. Van Dijk messing around, Fabinho ended up on his knees getting fouled. It was a little bit messy, but you can forgive them in pre-season. Apart from that, I thought, and a silly little pass, I think Ibu forgot that he didn't play for Leipzig. Apart from he almost put was it in Kunku through. But apart from that, I thought the back four had a fairly easy game. Robbo seemed a bit quiet. Trent, as you said, pinged some nice balls forward, and Virgil van Berezi at one point, wasn't he? He was just loving that 60 yard over the top to Mo today.
Yeah, I think the way Leipzig played, as I said earlier, I think they seem to be clearly unfit. They just really couldn't get anywhere close to us. I think the odd foul in midfield, but they really couldn't press any of the centre-backs. Trent had the freedom of the pitch, and so did Robbo when he got involved as well. And we saw it with Tsimikas as well. He probably got a bit more involved than Robbo. So yeah, I think we had the freedom to do what we wanted, really. As I said, Soloff was down injured. Everyone had a nice cheeky sponsored a Red Bull drink break. What else was there? A nice combination by Naby and Robbo on the left. Didn't really come anything. Robbo, I think, took a couple too many touches. Then a nice, as I quote in my notes, a big shagger tackle by Ibu, because why not? Robbo did a Robertson shot, nearly falls to Bobby. And then right at the end of the first half, Stephen, we get a chance for Red Bull Leipzig. Nkunku misses. Maybe if he's a bit fitter, he scores, but maybe he would fit in at Liverpool, because we like missing chances like that as well.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of fanfare around him, but he didn't seem particularly mentally switched on today, did he? And I know it's pre-season, but you'd expect your big-name player against a big team to show a little bit more than he showed today. As I said, I thought Danny Olmo was quite tidy and kept trying to move the ball, and I can't pronounce his name. The Hungarian kid looked interesting, but Nkunku, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot Nkunku was playing, to be honest. Trent did a really nice bit of recovery as well. There was a ball over the top, and he ended up in basically the left back position and just deals with the situation with absolute no fuss. I think sometimes we forget how quick he is and how strong he is. We know how composed he is, but I think, people are too quick to worry about his attacking play and forget that he's a very smart footballer, full stop, right? So he makes the right run to intercept the ball and does the right things with the ball rather than panicking and smashing it to the keeper or kicking it out. So I think people just need to remember that Trent's actually a bloody good defender and just a very, very smart footballer, full stop.
Yeah, I think we almost forget that he's a hell of an athlete as well, as you say. I think his footballing qualities are fantastic, but look at the lad. He's 23 and he's built like a brick shithouse. It's them Buvac roid flakes coming in handy all the way back from 2017.
It made me laugh on the commentary, though, with Mo. They kept banging on about how Mo was playing as an inside right and a centre forward, and every time they talked about it, Mo was pretty much by the touchline. I was like, what? Yeah. It's like they haven't watched him for the last 5 years and know that he's going to cut inside, and that's what he does. But yeah, it was a bit, I don't know. Some of the NFC, like the pre-match picture as well, showing the right players in completely the wrong positions. I don't understand.
No, that annoyed me.
I don't understand how the production team for the club's football channel can get it so wrong.
Yeah, I think Thiago was the 6 and Fabinho on the right. It was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Horrid stuff. Apparently all our Discord chat has COVID as well, so you're not alone there, Stephen. So happy days for you there. We get into the second half, and people are probably wondering why I've rushed the first half there. Is because we went on a fucking rampage in the second half. We did a few subs at half-time, which I haven't got in my notes. Let me just open Flash Score up quickly. So at half-time, we get Matip on for Keita. I don't know why they put them two together. Tsimikas apparently came on for Konate. Nunes came on for Robertson at left-back. Yes, he did. And Bobby came on, and Henderson came on for Bobby. They obviously didn't come on for each other, but we had a bit of a switcheroo there. But it's basically instant there, Stephen. 47th minute, we get a penalty. Some nice pressing work by Henderson. Their goalkeeper's a bit drunk and basically spears. I think it was Diaz, if I remember correctly.
But isn't Diaz brave? Like, that's at least 2 penalties he's won by putting his body on the line, right? What was his name? That really annoying Mexican forward for United, Hernandez, is it? Like, He's got that thing where he doesn't care. He's going for that ball. He's putting his body on the line. He almost got knocked out in a game, didn't he, last season? And he's thrown himself at it again. You know, he knows that the keeper's got 2 choices: let him score or take him out. So yes, the keeper was a bit dumb, but I don't think Diaz gave him much choice to do anything else. So I think we should celebrate the positivity of Diaz's mentalness. He's definitely that Mascherano streak, hasn't he? As opposed to just blaming the goalkeeper for being a drunken fool.
You just reminded me Sanchez didn't get sent off in that game. That was fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, God, the referees are back in a couple of weeks. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
penalty. We all probably wanted Darwin to take it, but we've seen in the past, I think Fabinho missed his first penalty in pre-season. Maybe people just expecting Mo to take it, but Darwin has an excellent penalty record. I'm pretty sure he does. Don't think he's missed one yet. I don't like the Jorginho run-up bullshit, but he almost missed, but he scored his penalty, and that's all we needed.
Yeah, and I think it just goes to show people underrate like Mo as a team player. People like to focus on the goals, and he's accused of being selfish, even though Sai will tell us all that he creates more chances than anybody else, not called Trent. You just kind of knew really that he was going to let Nunes take it, given it's a friendly. Okay, if it's the Premier League or Champions League, he's getting in line after Mo, but you kind of knew he was going to take it, and the boy can smash a ball, right? I know the keeper got a hand on it, but if you can't smash a ball that hard, the keeper's saving it.
Very true, very true. But as soon as he misses, he'll miss one, and then that hop skip bullshit's got to go. I'm afraid. I don't make the rules, but I do. But I can't do it. The Jorginho penalty just haunts me. But that's probably where the story begins. And as the usual British cliche goes, you're waiting for a bus. Then four come at the same time, obviously. Few minutes later, Nunes again gets another goal, a lovely finish. But it's again nice pressing work by, I think it's Henderson and Thiago this time, and then falls to Trent, who's playing as a centre forward for whatever reason. Nice little pass to Darwin, and a lovely finish.
I said this on Nina's pod. That's the kind of goal, which is why I like to compare him to Zlatan, like early Zlatan, not Ibrahimovic when he had this big media personality, like in the Ajax early Juve years. If he wants to be quick, he can be quick. If he wants to be strong, he can be strong. But he just knows how to get himself in the right position, and he didn't even need to look upright. The ball's just in front of him, and you know he's scoring. And he just looks so elegant and majestic while doing it. It was such an enjoyable goal. Plus, he's got the top knot. So it was a really good goal. And, you know, as when we were linked to him and when we first signed in the pods I was on, that was the kind of thing that got me excited about signing him. Just that composure. He doesn't rush. He doesn't snatch at it. He doesn't do anything stupid. He just simply buries it.
Yeah, it's one of them ones where our forwards obviously scored a lot of goals, but sometimes they did miss the easier chances. Even Mo, who scores 1 million goals a season, whereas I think it might just be nostalgia here. But you remember Torres going through goal, and every time you think, yeah, he scored. Like we all remember Van der Sar, Vidic, etc. We remember them games where in a 1v1 he does that, and that's kind of what a number 9 does. So yeah,
I think you're right. Like he's a 6'2", 6'3". He looks like something a proper over 6 foot centre forward. The way he strikes the ball, he's not a midfielder or another player's got into position. You just know his whole body shape. He just looks like he's going to score. And to me, once he struck that, I was like, oh, he's going to have fun today.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I think as soon as Leipzig tired a bit and then took off a few of their first teamers, I think the difference in quality went up another level, and then even we did a few more subs on the 58th minute. I think they did as well, actually. They brought on Forsberg, Novoa. Let's go with that. Haidara, Lima, and Javaslager, the most Germanic name in the world. And then we bring on a couple minutes later, Basetic, the young lad, I can't remember what his first name is. Harvey Davis came on in goal. Joe Gomez on at centre-back, Fabio Carvalho, who I want to talk about as well. Curtis Jones came on for Thiago, James Milner at right-back, Harvey Elliott came on for Mo. I might as well do it now, because we're probably just going to go back to Darwin in a sec, but we brought on these young lads there, and Basetic, was he involved in the 4th or the 5th? It was the 4th. But yeah, Basetic comes on. It's a lad I've seen his name, but I never heard him play. I always thought he was a centre-back. Maybe not telling, but... And he got a game above Tyler Morton, who we saw get Champions League minutes last season. Unless Tyler Morton's injured or been sent out on load or missed something. But it's probably somewhat of a statement that he's come on ahead of some players that have had minutes before.
Yeah, but some of it may be circumstantial, right? Klopp said this year that they're looking at developing Morton as a number 8. And maybe they decided today wasn't the right game to play Hendo as a 6, and it was a good chance to give him a run with Hendo ahead of him. I'll be honest, if I didn't play Football Manager, I would have had no idea who he was when I saw the name come up. I only recognised him from playing that game. But yeah, he looked really composed. He was smart. He was playing a lot deeper than Fabinho. He spent a lot of time like dropping back towards the centre halves. Maybe that's because he has been, or sometimes as a centre back. But I thought he looked bright. He was definitely out there to make an impression. And also, the Leipzig midfield, like I thought Haidara might be an interesting look at today, but he just was non-existent. I think when you're playing against a midfield that doesn't really want to play, as a kid, you've got to take the opportunity and show your best looks. And he's the deepest midfielder, but he's also the most advanced midfielder when we get the fourth goal when he's pressing their back line. I thought he was really good today. I hope we get to see more of him, but he's not the player who most. I thought he was really good today, and it was nice seeing a young player come through and lots of people getting excited, but he wasn't the one that really excited me today. He was just something I enjoyed watching him, but I think the bit that got me really excited was just seeing Harvey again today. He's just so smart, right? There's a lot of talk about CJ. CJ's a fantastic player ability-wise, but sometimes his decision-making can be a bit off. And for the fourth goal, it's the composure and the decision of when to play the ball. He could snatch it, he could try and play it too quickly, but he just takes that extra half a millisecond before he plays it. And Nunes has got a lovely tap in. And that was just the start of a really bright, 30-odd minutes for Elliott. I thought he was really, really good today.
Yeah, Elliott was fantastic. I think we'd throw Carvalho in there as well.
Yeah.
But when them some subs were made on that, I've got it as the 58th minute. I think they were a smidge later, but we see a couple chances. I think Carvalho and Elliott both get headers, if I remember correctly. Some really nice play around there, but as you say, Elliott was fantastic. I'm really, out of all the youngsters, because I've really not seen anything of Carvalho over than these pre-season games, Elliott was lightning at the start of last season. If it's taken the whole of the last season after the horrific injury to get back to where he was, so be it. I think he's still 19, maybe even 18. I think he can reach proper levels in the team. So whatever position, whether it's right centre mid, right wing as Mo's backup, or alternative, I just want to see loads of him.
And him and Fabio both did the same things today quite often. There was a corner that came back and the ball dropped to Elliott, and CJ often tries to smash a 20-yard shot in. Hendo always tries that stupid clipped ball, and he just very composed plays the ball out to Milner, who gets a decent cross in. He just makes the right decision of the players around him. And Carvalho was doing the same off the left. There were chances where some players would snatch at a cross or some players would snatch at a shot, and he knows when to take that extra touch before taking a player on or playing the ball on. They both just looked really, for their age, they just looked really, really composed. They look like they've got a really high footballing IQ. They understand their role in the team, and they were out to impress today. And I thought they can both walk off that pitch extremely proud of themselves. And as people said, we're going to have a really exciting cup team this season, and I think we're going to see them popping up in rotation for, Premier League minutes as well. They were both really, really good today.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think, not sure what Carvalho's best role is, but on the left, he looked really good, combined really well with Tsimikas on that side. Obviously, if it's Robbo at times, but we've got the 5 subs. If Diaz has run someone ragged, maybe not. He's not as quick as Diaz, obviously, but his movement seems to be really intelligent. I'm trying to think who he reminds me of. And people say Coutinho, but I think there's something a bit more attacking the box. Almost not Frank Lampard as a comparison, but he attacks the box like he used to. I'm not sure who I'm comparing to, but he just seems to have really good movement, and that should be a weapon to use.
he glides. He's got that way that plays like Coutinho and for the oldies, Del Piero just glides with the ball at his feet. And I think he's a really good complement to Diaz. I think they both have that. They're on the left, they're going to cut inside a lot, but they're not always going to cut inside and shoot like Phil used to. They're going to cut inside and play 1-2s. They're going to play through balls. They're going to...
It might actually just be Mane. He reminds me of. That might be the thing. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as quick as... I think Mane was very reactive, and I think that, to me, maybe Fabio's more proactive. He's thinking about what to do rather than just reacting to what's happening around him. But he looks really smart, and I think you're right. Like, when Diaz runs teams ragged, having Fabio coming in and being a very similar type player is smart. It gives us consistency of what's going to happen for players like Darwin to nail their movement, especially before the substitution. Something I noticed a lot was happening was Darwin was running the left channel and then was drifting out wide, and Diaz was, whenever he did that, Diaz was popping up in that sort of false nine central position. And we know that Carvalho played a lot of minutes as a 10 off of Mitrovic last year.
Yeah.
So hopefully he seems to have that game intelligence right, where if that's something Diaz wants to naturally keep doing, because Torres did it a lot as well, didn't he? Torres used to love running that left inside channel. Mm-hmm. That means that Diaz can, both of Diaz and Fabio can cut inside into that position and be those playmakers who then put the ball through to any of the forwards or midfielders on the pitch or have a crack themselves. So yeah, I thought he was really good. He's really exciting. I hope the fans are patient with him and we give him the whole season to really settle in and play at Premier League level and play at Champions League level, rather than getting overexcited and then people slagging him off because he hasn't scored 15 goals. He might score 15 goals. That'd be awesome. But let's just hope he gets 3 right. But he looked really good today. He looked really positive, and he seems to have the right mentality.
Yeah. It certainly has the right skill set as well, as you say. I think you just look at him and I thought, yeah, he fits like a Liverpool player, like a glove. Anywho, let's move back on. I have it 7 minutes afterwards. Darwin gets his hat-trick. Basatic wins the ball, pressing really high. Nice from him. Passes it to Elliott, nice and clean. Easy pass across the box to Darwin. Yes, please, it's his hat-trick. It's... Well, them failed comps have gone away after about 70-odd minutes pre-season. Yeah. So,
and it's a lovely tap-in finish, like a really composed. The ball from Harvey's so good. He just has to guide it in. He hasn't snatched it. He hasn't tried to smash it in or do anything smart or clever or try some stupid flick over. He's just let the ball roll across him and tapped it in the corner. And, the keeper's got no chance. It was a really, really nice goal. It was a really confident finish from Darwin. And as I said before, such a beautifully weighted pass from Elliott. But it's why I'm so excited about Harvey. He just makes the right decision. He didn't smash the ball across. He didn't overhit it. He just put it on a plate for Darwin.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's easy to get those wrong. We've seen it countless times, haven't we? Where there's an easy tap in and the ball coming in just isn't good enough. So, I enjoyed watching him play today.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I stopped making notes for 10 minutes because, that's what I do in these games. So I'm going to fast forward to the 81st minute. Carvalho has a nice run. Shot just went slightly wide. I think it was from a tough angle. It would have been a hell of a finish. We've talked about Carvalho there. We don't really need to talk about many more. Darwin with a monster header. It's a good save by the goalkeeper, to be fair to him. Harvey and Carvalho combining really well. Fulham Academy days. Flashbacks, the crack. 89th minute, 5-0, Carvalho with the assist, Pringle wrists in goal. That goalkeeper, it wasn't his day, but it's 4 for Darwin. I mean, it shouldn't have went in, let's be honest. The keeper was kind of crap. But, from what people were saying pre-game, mostly not Liverpool fans, but there was the odd Liverpool fans worrying about that God, 60 minutes of pre-season, but I'll ask it anyway. There was some Liverpool fans almost doubting it after 60 minutes of pre-season, but I mean, 4 goals against a Leipzig team. I did check; it's their second pre-season game, so they're probably well behind us in fitness. Let's be fair. But 4 goals in a game against good opposition.
Yeah.
We've got Wednesday, I think we play Salzburg, another good opposition, and then we've got the Charity Shield. So yeah, 4 goals ahead of the actual season starting.
Yeah, there were 2 things about that goal I wanted to mention. The first one was the actual finish. It's one of those where the keeper's beaten before he's even struck the ball. I know he gets underneath him. I know it could have been a better finish. But the keeper's basically seen Darwin coming at him and gone, oh, fuck, he's scoring. Because if he isn't thinking that, then he saves it. He's basically given up before the shot's gone in. And again, that's why I like comparing him to the Zlatans and the Torreses, because when you've got that presence on a pitch, sometimes just being the player taking the shot can be enough to put the keeper off. Because you know that if that's one of the kids coming through, the keeper's all full of confidence, but he's just given up when he sees Núñez coming down at him. He's already banged him 3 goals and the ball just goes under him. And the keeper just looks a bit like, oh fuck. Do you know what I mean? But the play from Fabio, again, when I was talking about the sort of his footballing IQ, a few minutes before that, a ball comes over on the left to CJ in a really similar position, but CJ does the wrong thing. He snatches it across and just hits the defender. Whereas Carvalho knows what to do, takes the touch and puts in a perfect ball. I'm not bashing Curtis. I think Curtis is a fantastic footballer. I just think what makes those other 2 so exciting is their decision making. They might lack the experience of CJ, but their decision making is so good, and they proved it today just by putting the ball on the plate for who is going to be an absolute monster of a centre forward for us.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think I said it in the first half. I'm not sure if it was before you were on the pod. I think it wouldn't surprise me if we still start with Bobby, Diaz, and Mo as the starters. But I know it's pre-season game and you're changing your entire team. But even if you just look at it boringly as a weapon off the bench until Klopp thinks he's ready to start games, I mean, just look at the 3 lads who came on. Look at the impact they had.
Yeah.
It's completely different. Like, it is literally chalk and cheese how Bobby and Darwin will play up front.
Definitely, with the whole 5 sub thing, right? I think you might be right. We know that Klopp likes to do the 60-30 that he often does, or was doing with Thiago and Keita before Keita proved he was much better than Hendo in that midfield 3. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see a lot of 60-30s, you know, Bobby starts the Saturday game, Darwin starts the midweek game, and vice versa, until he feels that he's got up to speed with the league and that his teammates and everything else. And yeah, as you said, they're chalk and cheese. So the fact that Diaz is so direct, the fact that if Jota's starting on the left in some games where Bobby's playing through, you've got a centre forward for Bobby to play with. But then when Núñez starts over Bobby, then Diaz can be more creative and not worry so much about trying to score. So I think we've got some really, really exciting options in our front line this season. And just to see Bobby looking like he's enjoying himself today. If Bobby's fit and he thinks he can get into the World Cup team and he can get enough minutes, I think it makes that forward line quite terrifying for the opposition, because you don't necessarily know which 3 you're going to play against, and they can all on their day be match winners. And now Mo's signed that long-term contract. It wouldn't surprise me if he went on a massive purple patch, right? Because there's nothing hanging over his head now. He's here for 4 years. There's no speculation. There's no pressure. He got what he wanted. And maybe he wanted a centre forward. Him and Dzeko used to love playing together. So maybe that was part of it, right? So I think we've got a really, really exciting forward line this year, and defenders should rightly be shitting themselves. Because how do teams prep for it, right? How do you prep for those 5, especially when any combination can play so differently?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think we may not have the best 3 anymore, like I think we did when we had Mane, Bobby and Salah in the pomp, but I think as a selection, I think if Darwin establishes himself, and Diaz probably more importantly remembers how to score goals, it could soon get back up to that really well established level, and certainly be in the conversation of best in the world. And no doubt in my mind, it will get back in that conversation. To be fair,
and they complement each other, don't they? Mo is his own player. He calls himself a winger still, but scores bundles of goals, creates so many goals. Darwin is back to the old school proper Torres. Number 9, he's got to play on the shoulder. He's strong. He's quick. He's, got what looks like a really good all-round game for number 9. And Jota's a proper poacher. He really does have like those old school Fowler moments, the back post tap-ins, the headers, like different styles of play. I don't know. I know I said Fabio and Diaz are similar, but there's still a lot of flexibility of how that forward line can line up. So, yeah, I think it's going to be really, really fun to watch this year.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, just before we finish off, I think goalkeepers, as long as Kelleher and Alisson are fit, they're spot on. Alisson, best in the world. Kelleher's really promising. Right back, we got Ramsey, Trent's best in the world. Best 4 selection of centre-backs in the world. Robbo's excellent, and Tsimikas is excellent as well. Midfield, I think most people would like one more, but I think we've got 4 that are really well trusted. You made a slight dig at Henderson there, but let's be fair. Klopp trusts him. He can play really well, and all of us want him to play really well. Like to be fair, I mentioned it a few times in the past. Second half, he was excellent. He was fantastic.
Yeah. Hendo's great. He's just not exciting, and we want exciting players. He is just who he is. When he plays as an 8, he sometimes...
Exciting is not the right word. I think Henderson can be explosive rather than exciting, if that makes sense. I know we kind of get the tag of anti-Henderson and stuff like that, but if he's his off-ball work, if he presses like a demon, he has a good shot on him. We saw it in the Palace game, his trademark shot. He is good in them wide areas at times. It's just, I don't know. Last season, it seemed to be one game he was quite good, and then the other game he was dreadful. So if he finds more consistency than last season, the added fitness, then we've got 4 really good, because I'm a fan of Naby as well, and Fabinho and Thiago are fucking excellent. So
yeah, I just think
Hendo's 4 really good midfielders.
I think Hendo's days as an 8 are limited. I think they're coming to an end. I think when he does play as the right-sided 8, he does quite often leave the right back exposed because he doesn't get it back into position. He just sits there shouting. Whereas when he plays as the 6, I think he takes that responsibility on a little bit more. And Klopp also picks him to play at the 6, usually because of the opposition we're playing, where there's no pressure on Fabinho, so it's a good chance to give him a rest. So I don't have issues with Henderson. I just would like to see him be further down the pecking order this year. I think CJ's job this season, if we don't go and sign a starting level number 8, is to take those minutes off Hendo, and Hendo becomes the backup 6 and becomes that old head that Klopp trusts and brings on to see out games or to play against Burnley or what have you. I think CJ needs to try and get a bit of rhythm and consistency and maybe be that 4th choice centre midfielder behind what at the moment Thiago and Case were the first choices. I think Harvey looks like he might be getting some minutes this year, then maybe CJ, then Hendo's obviously going to be 3rd choice for now, but maybe Curtis's job is to try and push Hendo down the pecking order on that right-sided role.
To be fair, I think it'll still be. I think because the first half of the season it's not congested. I think he'll try and play NFT maybe as much as possible with Henderson. I say Henderson sprinkled in. That sounds stupid. I think it'll be the 4 that finished the last season because you can rotate one player, whereas in the second half of the season it'll be fucking mental after the World Cup, and that's when I think we'll see Jones and Elliott in midfield a bit more.
Yeah, when I say like their role is to come in and establish themselves and push them down the pecking order, I'm talking about for the important part of the season, January through to the end. I'm not talking about the start of the season. Klopp's going to go with the players he trusts. He's trying to bed in some new players. He's going to want his captain on the pitch. And I think, again, we need to be patient with Ramsey. We've not seen him yet. Milner's obviously going to play some games at right back and against teams that aren't going to get in behind. I don't see that being too big of an issue. He put in some really good crosses today, and we know he's slow, but he's smart and he's quick and he tries to do the right things for the team. You know, Gomez has signed a new contract. Maybe he's accepted he's going to be a bit of a carrer and he's going to play a bit of centre back, a bit of full back, and he's just going to be a proper team player. So, yeah, I think it'll be one more midfield would be nice, but I'm not worried. If we go into the season with the team as it is and we have this team until the 63rd game of the season, I think there's every chance we could win a quadruple.
Yeah, I think as we've gone on the tangent, why not? I think the title will be decided between City and Liverpool again. I think it'll just be who settles with the number 9 quickest, to be fair, or best. I think they've obviously sold Sterling, we've lost Mane. It's going to be a big adaptation for both of us, but I think we'll finish up there, Stephen. We don't want to go on for too long on this podcast. Yeah, that will be back. I think it is Wednesday we play next. I'll be back. I'm not sure if Stephen will be. I'll see who's about in the chat. But that's it from us. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
We hope you enjoyed listening to this Anfield Index show. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel so future podcasts find their way to your device automatically. There's nothing quite like fan engagement, and we'd love to know what you think of anything discussed on this show. The best way to get in touch is over on our free Discord community, where both podcasters and listeners debate the hottest LFC topics 24/7. Sign up free now at AnfieldIndex.com/Discord. You won't regret it. You can also follow us on Twitter at Anfield Index and find us on Facebook by searching for Anfield Index. Oh, and before you go, we'd love it if you could leave us a 5-star review on your favourite podcast app. It only takes a couple of seconds, and it means the world to the people who create these free shows.